One of my favorite things to make time for is reading books. So today I want to share with you 3 takeaways that I had from Chip Gaines' new release, Capital Gains, that I got back as a Christmas present. Can we just take a second to acknowledge the fierceness of his beard? It's pretty awesome. I feel like his productivity on demo day had to increase by at least a multiple of 1.5. He just walks into a building and the walls fall over because of it. It's awesome. Hey, this is Austin Bristow. Today I want to share with you 3 takeaways that I had from reading Capital Gains. If you haven't had a chance to read it yet, I would highly recommend picking up a copy. For anybody that watches Fixer Upper, you could absolutely hear Chip's voice throughout the entire thing, and it's a really funny, fun read to be able to learn some of the things that he went through and how he got to where he is now. So the first thing I want to share that really stuck with me as I was reading was Chip's comments on change. There's a portion where he's talking about, in high school yearbooks, people love to write things like, "Don't change, stay the same, we love who you are," which is a really nice sentiment because it means people appreciate the person that we have been to them. But in reality, that would be almost a worse nightmare for Chip. And I kind of agree with him that if we never changed, it would be a terrible life situation. Like if I think about it from a personal perspective, I'm confident, I'm 100% confident my wife would not marry me if I still acted like 14-year-old Austin. My kids would not stand a chance of survival if I was a 14-year-old Austin dad for them. There has to be a lot of growth and change throughout our lives, and it's an inevitable part that is difficult to embrace and kind of can seem scary at times, but it's something that we really should look forward to on a regular basis, the opportunity to change, not that we necessarily have to change. Now, when you think about it professionally, you can look even at some of the biggest artists in the world. You've got someone like Taylor Swift, who her new song, Ready For It, came out as I was reading this book, and the thought on change came across my mind. If you compare that song to Tim McGraw that she released back in 2006, that's a perfect example of what it means to grow professionally and to continue to change. She doesn't even make country music anymore, but she's been able to stay completely relevant within the music scene and be extremely successful because of it. Another part that I really appreciated was him talking about their decision to actually stop filming the show Fixer Upper. And what I really appreciated was his ability and humility in being able to admit that he's only ever good at doing 2 big projects at once, which I think is tough for a lot of us to admit. So many instances there are people, myself included, who love to just be busy. We kind of wear busy around like a badge of honor and like to take on as many projects as we possibly can. But what ends up happening for me is I just get burned out and I end up not doing my best on all of the things that I'm working on. Having read Essentialism by Greg McKeown, that was something I tried to adopt a few years ago, was just being able to say no intentionally to certain opportunities. Obviously, in their instance, for Chip and Joanna, saying no to HGTV is a big deal. It's a good thing for them to have had the show Fixer Upper. But their belief is that by saying no to something that's good, they're going to be able to say yes to something that's even better. And that's where it's really difficult to be able to discern that. And it kind of leads me to the third point that Chip wrote that really stuck with me. And I want to read it because I want to make sure I don't misquote it. But he says that God's grace lasts as long as it's required. But when that grace and peace start to go, it's a good time to evaluate if God is still in what you're doing. But to me, that stands out because there are a lot of instances where I feel like I try to will things that I know that I want to do. And it's something where we just keep grinding, we keep pushing, we keep insisting that this is what we want to do, it's where we need to be, it's what we need to be doing on a daily basis. But the truth is, it may not actually be the best option for us. It's something where we keep saying yes to all these things around us because we want it to create that opportunity we've been looking for. When in reality, if our heart is in it, but we feel like we're burning out, we need to really be able to take a step back and discern, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this what I'm supposed to be committing myself to on a daily basis? Is it providing the most value for people around me? Is this how I can be the biggest contributor to my community based on the work that I'm doing or the effort that I'm putting into some type of project? And I think, again, that's another huge opportunity to admit humility, where you have to realize that just because I want to do something, it doesn't necessarily mean that God is there behind me saying that this is the direction I should be running in. So those 3 things, our willingness to change, taking on only 2 big projects at a time instead of filling our bucket with as many things as we can, and also understanding that there's got to be some grace behind us in the projects that we're doing in order to really have the propulsion we need to keep going. Those 3 things are the things that stuck most with me. If you've had a chance to read it, I would love to hear what you thought about the book and things that were your takeaways, and appreciate you tuning in. We'll talk to you again soon, and have a great week.